Today I'm going to be watching this video. It's called How Sweden's Military is Training for a Russian Invasion. So yeah, I know that quite a few countries are actually kind of gearing up for that. Finland, Poland, countries on the border of Russia, but I know that countries elsewhere in Europe are also investing more in their military, training more specifically for this threat. So yeah, interested to see this. Tell me what you think. Being Swedish, is this a genuine risk, a Russian invasion in Sweden? Are people thinking about it? I guess people in the military are, which is good, but is the general public? Let's watch this and we can find out what's going on.
I'm here on this tiny Swedish island in the middle of the Baltic Sea where NATO's newest member is preparing for war. Tensions are high on Gotland as the Ukraine conflict continues and as critical subsea cables are damaged in suspected sabotage. Troops here are training in drills designed to repel invaders. No one here specifically naming the enemy, but it doesn't take a lot to imagine that it's Russia we're talking about. It's all part of a seismic shift in strategy that has seen Sweden end decades of neutrality, pour millions of dollars into its defenses, and ready civilian bomb shelters built during the Cold War. Nowhere is Sweden's change in stance seen more visibly than here on this island.
Yeah, I've watched quite a few videos about the Swedish military and its training in different parts of Sweden in the north and things like that. And I have seen a few things mention Gotland, learned a little bit about it. So yeah, interested to learn more about the place. I really never had any idea of it. It's obviously a very big island and yeah, great strategic importance military-wise. And now that Sweden's part of NATO, it's become like a really important thing for not just Sweden, just for the whole of NATO as well.
So we're going to this Swedish military base, which only reopened in 2018, and is one of the regiments in the country that has seen a large uptick in recruits. Since 2020, the Swedish military has increased the number of conscripts here from 0 to hundreds, and predicts it could double again over the next few years. Conscripts will train in exercises similar to this armored battalion. The soldiers here are practicing how to repel a potential invasion. An invasion will happen either from the air or by the sea, so that's what they're practicing. In the event of an attack on NATO, many expect Russian troops to land on Gotland first. It's only around 200 miles from Russia's Kaliningrad exclave.
With a fighter jet, that takes between 15 and 20 minutes, and with a missile, half that time.
Gotland's position makes it a crucial military asset. Whoever controls the island essentially controls the Baltic Sea. When Sweden joined NATO, it gave the alliance the ability to cut off Moscow's supply routes in a lake of other members. But if Moscow took control of the island, supplying NATO's Baltic states would be more difficult. They would likely be resupplied via the narrow Suwalki gap between Poland and Lithuania. If that area was also breached by Russian forces, NATO's Baltic states would be cut off.
I mean, like with that, you would hope that with Poland and how much they're increasing their military spending and putting a lot of people on the border between Poland and Belarus as well, that they would be able to stop that as well. But yeah, tell me, like in Sweden, do most people appreciate how important Gotland is? Is it somewhere people think about? Is this like a real scenario that people are worried about?
If you are located on this island with capabilities, you could in one or another way have an impact on what goes on both in the air, on the surface and underneath the sea level as well.
To prepare for such a scenario, Sweden is ramping up defenses here. Troop numbers are growing so rapidly that every time they finish construction on a new barracks, the military says they have to start building another. Although preparations for war are being made now, the threat to Gotland is not new. For centuries, this place has been the target of invasions because of its strategic location. The Vikings were here, and in the 1800s, the Russians also briefly occupied the island. To understand how this impacts the public of Gotland, I'm meeting the mayor, Mate Folin.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Nice
Thank
to
you for
meet
making
you.
this. She's ultimately responsible for readying Gotland for a potential war or crisis. Seeing the military come back to Gotland, how has it changed people's
I would
outlook?
say most of us, I think we feel more safe with it because the war also is quite near. But some also feel more insecure because it is in your face. There's something going on. We also have a lot of people in Sweden that we thought that we could rely on that war will not come into Europe again.
How do you feel about Trump in the White House? Have you given much thought to that?
Oh, every day. I think it's disturbing and alarming because I think if USA are not willing to take the responsibility they have done over time, it will be no NATO in the same extent as it is today. It also, of course, alarming when he's out also talking about like he want to have Greenland and stuff like that because it's inside NATO, and that is it's a big concern.
Yeah, that was an interesting question. Yeah, because when they're talking about all these military installations being built, you forget there's just people who live there going about their daily life. And for me, I feel if there was that build up of military, it would actually make me feel probably more insecure rather than secure because I'd be thinking, well, there's a real threat on the doorstep. But yeah, again, that's a very positive way to think about it, that you're kind of safer because there's so much soldiers and things, but I guess that also makes you a target as much. So it's quite complex, as much as I watch and learn about what most countries in Europe are doing with regards to their military being built up and so on, it's just so sad that it's even at this point that people have to worry about that. But yeah, I guess it won't stop until Russia is stopped.
The expansion of the military is dividing opinion across the island, where a large part of the economy relies on tourism. So Sweden's armed forces are going into towns to try to convince communities that an increased military presence is a necessity.
Men vi som bor precis intill, har ni några begränsningar på hur mycket ni får låta? Jag menar, vi har ju flyttat ner permanent för att få ett lugn. Och så kommer ni, och jag förstår att vi inte har något att säga till om, men det måste ju ändå finnas rimliga begränsningar för.
Many locals feel uneasy about militarization taking place on their doorstep, as well as the increasing threat from Russia. Others say they're concerned about security challenges following the US election.
Boom! Jag bor här borta. Flyttade hit för 12 år sedan. Och då hade ju inte jag räknat med att det skulle bli ett skjutfält. Jag tycker att det var bättre att Kamala Harris vann valet i USA, för det skulle inte bli så polariserande. Jag skulle känna mig tryggare i tillvaron. Men nu är det som där. Vi får gilla läget.
Despite rising anxiety over the island's long-term security, members of the Swedish military say it's unlikely to be attacked anytime soon. But that hasn't stopped residents from preparing for any escalation. The Swedish government is ramping up checks on underground bunkers to make sure its population is ready for a crisis.
Is that for chemical weapons?
Smoke, chemical. This bomb shelter and dozens of others scattered across the island are now at a heightened state of readiness. Most of them were built during the Cold War. It comes as a shadow war heats up in the sea that surrounds them. A string of underwater incidents have struck cables in the Baltic Sea. Some Western officials accused Moscow of sabotage, but Russia has denied it's part of such an effort.
And China, I think, as well.
The incidents triggered NATO to deploy regular naval patrols and enhance surveillance in the area. As history has shown, this island will continue to be a strategic asset in the future. Those who are training here say they're both anxious and ready to defend it.
Of course, sometimes you get scared, but you have to find the moments when you can be scared and when you have to press it away and just move forward.
What do you get scared from?
Like the war in Ukraine, it's scary.
Even if the Ukraine war comes to an end, tensions in this part of Europe between Russia and its neighbors in the north will likely persist for many years to come. If you want to hear more about Sweden's military...
Yeah, again, like I said, just sad that it's actually at this point, and hopefully it can change for the better, but I guess that means defeating Russia. But yeah, interesting to see the bunkers there. Is that something that's common on mainland Sweden? I know that in Finland, for instance, they have in Helsinki, I think, a lot. I think it might be the most underground bunkers of any country in the world, but is that a thing in Sweden as well? Is there a lot of underground bunkers? But yeah, I guess it's good to know that Sweden's being prepared and being proactive, as well as the whole of NATO, I guess, as well on there. And it's interesting to just see like the local issues, like even like that increase in noise and things. Don't really consider it's just such an upheaval for the people who go there, want a quiet life, but ends up becoming this target, and also just a lot of stuff going on there now that wouldn't normally go on. So yeah, interesting documentary. Tell me what you think about it. Thanks.